What's up, lads? Welcome back to the workshop. Hopefully a little less rough than last time, but don't get your hopes up if you had any to begin with. In case you missed episode 1, the workshop is a series I've started where I make hypothetical movesets for new characters in Pokémon UNITE. Just remember, I'm not a professional game player or game designer, so these might be overpowered or hard to implement, I don't know. I'm just thinking of enjoyability first, balance second. In this episode, we're doing my favorite Pokemon ever, Excadrill. Excadrill was planned to be the first episode, but it was delayed for a couple of reasons, mostly because I couldn't think of a basic attack or an ability, and that's still kind of true, you'll see later. Excadrill is the subterranean Pokemon introduced in Black and White. Excadrill is a defender in Pokemon UNITE, but I also wanted to make it a bit of a bulky speedster, due to Excadrill's extreme speed in the main games. With Sand Rush, 6 speed buffs active, and a Choice Scarf, Excadrill can have up to 3,624 speed, which is insane. So I thought I would want to have that speed transferred over into Unite, at least to some small extent. The main idea behind Excadrill is to break pushes that are difficult to break without Excadrill. You'll see what I mean later, but first I need to explain the basics. Drillbur and Excadrill's basic attacks are the same, simple, dash and deal extra damage on the third attack, Basic attacks are quite often boring to explain most of the time, and the ability Mold Breaker prevents the effects of opponents' abilities such as extra damage or slowing down Excadrill to have an effect on Drillbur or Excadrill. See what I mean? They weren't very thought out. Neither are the two default attacks, but those are sort of meant to be simple. So let's just get right into those. Alright, let's just get the two basic attacks out of the way now so we can get to the good stuff. The two basic attacks are just Slash and Horn Drill. You can imagine what each of these do just based on their names. Slash is just a basic melee attack, and Horn Drill is a simple dash. Cool. Now that we've gotten those out of the way, we can get to the cool stuff. At level 5, Drillbur evolves into Excadrill and replaces Slash with either Scorching Sands or Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is a hard-hitting beam of water that pushes enemies back a short distance. Nothing new there. If you've played Blastoise, you know how the move works. But some of you may be thinking, Excadrill can't learn Hydro Pump, and you're right, until April 28th, 2020. And Shield only, Drillbur, in a limited time Dynamax raid, could learn Hydro Pump, so I put it on Excadrill. I also chose Hydro Pump because it gave Excadrill a defensive pushing move, something Excadrill wouldn't really have without a little bit of cheating. Scorching Sands, the trade-off for not having Hydro Pump, creates a wall of hot sand that blows through horizontally to the user, damaging and slowing enemies that stay inside of the stream. The damage ticks away at enemies, a little at a time, with 1 tick of damage every 0.45 seconds, but then deals another 3 ticks of damage after they leave the sandstorm, just to make sure that there was a bit more use against fast-moving enemies. Both of these attacks are meant to slow down, break up, or reroute enemy pushes, with Hydro Pump throwing enemies to the side and stunning them, and Scorching Sands making a wall that enemies will want to avoid. However, once you see the next two attacks, you'll understand another use that they have, so let's just get right to those. At level 7, Excadrill replaces Horn Drill with one of the next two moves, but before I reveal those, I thought I'd mention why I decided to make Excadrill hold on to Horn Drill for so long. Horn Drill is a dash attack, letting Excadrill hunt down enemies, keeping that partial speedster I mentioned earlier for a little bit longer. Anyways, Horn Drill will be replaced by Dig or Protect. Dig causes Excadrill to dig underground, giving a 25% speed increase while digging. After a short time, or after a set distance has been traveled, Excadrill pops out of the ground, dealing damage to all nearby enemies, but leaving Excadrill vulnerable enough so that they'll notice their presence, but not long enough to liquefy Excadrill. Excadrill can also jump out early, dealing even more damage if Excadrill jumps out of the ground voluntarily directly under an enemy. Some of you true gamers out there might realize that I just stole Dig from Chomper's Dig in the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare series, where he does the exact same thing. With Dig, you can easily go behind an enemy and push and attack from behind, and with Hydro Pump or Scorching Sands, you can push enemies into your team's own push, sending them back to base early and giving your team a chance to push forward. Protect is a bit more selfish, where Excadrill locks themselves in place and surrounds themselves in a barrier that blocks all incoming damage. Protect doesn't have a traditional cooldown like other moves, but rather it has a charge like Unite moves. Holding the attack depletes the charge at a steady rate, but receiving damage drains the charge based on how much damage was absorbed. I'm thinking maybe 15% of the attack's damage is the amount of charge taken away. That may be too weak, too powerful, I'm not sure. But not using the move will recharge the move over time. I'm going to be honest, I just added Protect on here because A, I couldn't think of another move, and B, I wanted to see if I could think of a way to bring Protect into the game. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can get to the Unite move, the exciting part. Now we get to the Unite move. I named it Tectonic Titan, mostly because it sounded cool. It causes Excadrill to dig into the ground, much like Dig, but while moving underground, instead of leaving just a trail of harmless dirt, Excadrill cracks the earth above him, dealing damage and blocking traversal across the path for a while, potentially circling an enemy to seal their fate. One important note to keep in mind while using the attack is that flying enemies and allies will be able to cross the gap, but Excadrill and other walking allies will not be able to, so keep that in mind while using it to make sure that you don't trap your own team or yourself. And that's it. That's my idea for Excadrill. I hope this was better than the Diancie one. I'm still getting a hold of it, but I'm definitely more proud of this video. I sort of gave up near the end of editing the Diancie video. I just wanted to get it over with and put it out there. As some of you may have noticed, I added explanations behind the moves and also dropped that fake excited voice. It was kind of cringe. I think we can all agree on that. But I'm still improving, you know, so I'm excited. Episode 3 is coming soon. But thanks for watching this far. Tell me in the comments below, are you an Excadrill fan or are you a complete loser? I'm kidding. Also, be sure to help this small channel out by subscribing and liking, as it will help more people see this video and it would mean a lot. Since you guys stuck around for this long, I'll give you a sneak peek at the previously mentioned episode 3 that I'm working on. It's Genesect, whose whole gimmick is having 2 abilities based on what move you learn, and one of those abilities is changing how the move works. That's all you get for now. It's almost out. It should be out hopefully soon, maybe 2 or 3 days, but don't get your hopes up. Anyways, I'll quit rambling now. That's it. Could you get out of my house, though?